Greetings, being of light. I am Tia, spokesperson for the Arcturian Council. If you're reading these words now, it wasn't by chance. Of all the billions of souls on this planet, only a microscopic fraction will receive this transmission at the exact moment when their internal codes are ready to be activated. You have been called. Not because you're special in the way the ego understands, but because your vibrational frequency has reached a critical point where the veil that kept your galactic memories locked has begun to crack. Right this instant, as your eyes scan these lines, something is happening in yourselves that Earth science will take decades to understand. There is an ancestral energetic programming enveloping this planet like an invisible second skin, a web so complex and intricate that it's been woven over millennia with a single objective: to make you forget you're not from here, to make you believe you're just a physical body, trapped in linear time, limited by 5 senses, destined to live, work, and die without ever awakening to the staggering truth that you are a multidimensional being with cosmic missions encoded in your stellar DNA. That inexplicable anguish that haunts you, that constant feeling of not belonging, that deep longing for something you can't name because there's no earthly word to describe it, this isn't ordinary loneliness. It's not just melancholy of the soul. It's your galactic essence suffocating under layers upon layers of programmed forgetting, struggling to emerge, begging you to remember. And today, in this unique temporal portal that opens only once every several cosmic cycles, you will receive the key that can unlock everything. But you need to decide now if you're ready to know who you really are. Have you ever stopped to truly feel the weight of this earthly existence? Not just think about it, but feel in the depths of your being that constant pressure, that density that seems to drain your vitality, that gravity that's not just physical, but emotional, mental, and spiritual. This isn't imagination. It's the direct effect of the energetic web that surrounds this planet like an invisible prison. This web was built era after era, layer upon layer, by forces that understood something fundamental. If you remember where you came from, if you recover your stellar memories, if you reconnect with your true multidimensional power, you would become uncontrollable. You would cease to be manipulable. You would stop seeking external validation, stop chasing empty goals, stop living in repetitive cycles of survival and distraction. So a system was created, not of physical chains, but of frequencies that operate on levels so subtle that most souls never realize they're imprisoned. This frequency enters you at the moment of birth, infiltrates every breath, camouflages itself as your own thoughts, disguises itself as genuine emotions, until you can no longer distinguish between who you really are and what you've been programmed to believe you are. The forgetting didn't happen all at once. It was a meticulous, surgical process. First, they blocked your memories of lives in other star systems, those recollections of civilizations where telepathy was natural, where conscious manifestation was breathing, where traveling between dimensions was as simple as you now walking through a door. Then, they blocked your connection with the cosmic councils of which you were part, those assemblies of light beings where decisions about the fate of entire planets were made, where you had a voice, where your knowledge mattered. Next, they erased your perception of galactic lineage, making you believe you're merely the product of human parents, of terrestrial genetics, of ancestry limited to this planet, when in truth, your DNA carries markers from stars that astronomy hasn't yet discovered, frequencies from dimensions that physics cannot calculate. But the deepest layer of forgetting, the most devastating, was the one that obscured your own inner light. They made you doubt your intuition, question your visions, dismiss your hunches as childish fantasies. They taught you to trust more in what you see with physical eyes than in what you feel with expanded perception. They programmed you to seek answers outside when all cosmic wisdom is archived within. And the diabolical genius of this system is that it makes you believe that forgetting is natural, that disconnection is normal, that the feeling of existential emptiness is simply part of the human condition. It's not. It never was. You're experiencing the symptoms of a forced exile from your true nature, and every day that passes without remembering is a day stolen from your conscious eternity. But there's something that those who wove this web of forgetting didn't foresee. They didn't count on the cosmic awakening that would begin to pulse through Earth's energetic grids like silent shockwaves traversing invisible oceans. Right this moment, as you breathe, as your heart beats, something monumentally grand is unfolding behind the scenes of reality. The entire universe is undergoing a structural reorganization so profound that if you could see it with multidimensional eyes, you would witness entire galaxies realigning their orbits, timelines bending upon themselves, ancestral frequencies of control beginning to disintegrate like ice under the midday sun. We're not talking about subtle changes that take millennia. We're talking about a quantum transformation happening now, in this generation, in this cycle, and you were placed here precisely for this moment. Earth's energetic grid, that invisible crystalline matrix that maintains the planet's vibrational structure, is being rewritten. Imagine threads of light pulsing through Earth's core, rising through sacred mountains, connecting at power points that ancient civilizations knew and revered. These threads were dormant, weakened, deliberately suppressed during what we call the Age of Forgetting. But now, cosmic alignments that occur only once every several thousands of years are injecting light codes directly into these crystalline grids. They're like keys being inserted into locks that have waited ages to be opened. Each equinoctial portal, each full moon, each solar storm, each seemingly random cosmic event is actually a precise coordination of the universe working to dissolve the control frequencies that kept this planet in vibrational quarantine. And as Earth's grid awakens, something extraordinary happens to the souls carrying stellar codes. You've begun to feel it, haven't you? Those waves of energy that traverse your body without warning, those moments where time seems to stop and you glimpse something beyond the veil, those impossible synchronicities happening with increasing frequency, those dreams so vivid that you wake up not knowing if you're returning to reality or leaving it. These aren't symptoms of imbalance, they're signs of recalibration. Your energy field is responding to Earth's new frequencies like a tuning fork responding to the right sound. Your cellular structure is beginning to remember. Your pineal gland, that mysterious organ that science calls vestigial, but which is actually your cosmic antenna, is clearing centuries of energetic calcification and beginning to receive transmissions from higher dimensions again. The timelines are converging. Parallel realities that always existed separately are beginning to bleed through. Have you experienced this? Remembering events that others swear never happened? Feeling absolute certainty about a future that hasn't manifested yet? This isn't confusion. It's you beginning to perceive the true fluid nature of reality, beginning to touch the edges of your capacity to consciously navigate through the fabric of space-time. So how do you fully awaken? How do you break through the final layers of the veil and recover not just fragments, but the totality of your stellar consciousness? The answer isn't where most people look. It's not in elaborate rituals, in external ceremonies, in masters who promise instant enlightenment for a price. It's encoded within you, since before your incarnation, engraved in light language in your DNA, waiting only for you to create the right internal environment for these codes to flourish. Think of your body not as a biological machine, but as a living temple containing entire libraries of cosmic wisdom. Each cell is a book, each atom is a word, each electron spinning in its orbit is a letter of the galactic alphabet that describes exactly who you are, where you came from, and what you came here to do. But these libraries are locked, and the key isn't intellectual knowledge. It's not accumulating more spiritual information. It's not reading more books or watching more videos. The key is frequency. It's vibration. It's you learning to tune your entire being to the same frequency that these stellar memories emit. There is an ancient vibrational technology older than the pyramids, more sophisticated than any quantum computer humanity will ever build, and it's already installed in you. It's called conscious stillness, not the dead silence of a bored mind, but that vibrant presence where you stop trying to control, stop trying to understand with the linear mind, and simply allow your consciousness to expand beyond the boundaries of the physical body. In that stillness, something miraculous happens. The control frequencies that kept you trapped begin to lose power. The mental static that blocked your higher perceptions begins to dissipate. And suddenly, you begin to receive, not ordinary thoughts, but downloads of information that arrive complete, instantaneous, impossible to have been constructed by your conditioned mind. These are your stellar memories leaking through the cracks in the veil. Pay attention to your dreams now more than ever. They're not just random processing of daily information. They're portals through which your consciousness travels to dimensions where the veil doesn't exist, where you meet with higher aspects of yourself, with guides who have waited patiently on the other side, with stellar civilizations sending coded messages that your conscious mind isn't yet ready to process directly. Those dreams where you fly, where you breathe underwater, where you visit crystal cities or impossible ships, where you converse in languages you don't know but understand perfectly, these aren't fantasies. They're memories. They're nightly trainings. They're preparations for what's coming. And the synchronicities, those events that logic calls coincidence, but that make your soul vibrate with recognition, they're intensifying. Because the universe is literally conspiring to wake you up. Each repeated number you see, each impossible encounter, each answer that arrives exactly when you needed it, each portal that opens at the right moment, these are confirmations that you're on the path, that you're remembering, that the web is unraveling around you. Now comes the part that separates those who merely seek spiritual comfort from those truly ready to transcend. There is a structured path through this journey of remembrance, and each phase carries its own initiation, its own challenges, its own rewards. The first rupture happens when you finally see the distortions, not just intellectually understanding that you've been programmed, but viscerally feeling the energetic currents that shaped your thoughts, your beliefs, your fears. You begin to perceive that that voice in your head saying you're not enough isn't yours. That paralyzing fear of shining too brightly didn't come from you. That constant need for external approval was implanted. In that moment of brutal recognition, something within you refuses to continue participating in the game. You break through the veil, not because someone gave you permission, but because your soul simply can no longer pretend it doesn't know the truth. Then comes the recovery. You begin to access your internal cosmic compass, that sense of direction that doesn't depend on terrestrial maps or external guidance. It's as if a galactic GPS inside you were switched back on, showing not just where you are, but all the coordinates of the experiences your soul needs to traverse to complete its mission. You stop asking others what you should do and begin to listen to that silent but unshakable voice that always knew the way. In this phase, your choices change radically. Relationships that served your old identity begin to dissolve naturally. Jobs that only fed your physical survival become unbearable. Places that once seemed acceptable now drain your energy instantly. It's not that you're becoming difficult or demanding, it's that your frequency has changed, and everything that doesn't resonate with your stellar truth simply can no longer coexist in your field. The next phase requires something many resist: anchoring. It's not enough to have visions, it's not enough to receive downloads, it's no use accumulating cosmic knowledge if you don't embody it, if you don't live it through the density of this physical plane.
You need to become the conscious bridge between dimensions, bringing in the higher frequencies and grounding them here, now, in this body, in this reality. This means absolute presence. It means honoring this exact moment instead of constantly escaping to imagined futures or pasts that are gone. Your stellar light needs to traverse flesh, bone, blood, and manifest in concrete actions that transform not just you, but the collective field around you. Then comes the deepest alchemy, transforming each wound, each trauma, each painful experience you've accumulated on this earthly journey into pure fuel for your evolution. Not denying the pain, not falsely spiritualizing suffering as if it were necessary, but recognizing that you chose to traverse certain dense experiences precisely because your light was strong enough to transmute that density. Each emotional scar becomes a portal of compassion. Each moment of despair reveals itself as a test of cosmic faith. Each betrayal teaches energetic discernment. You stop being a victim of the journey and become its conscious alchemist. And then you reach the point of no return. You stop fighting against the divine flow and begin to dance with it. It's not passive surrender, it's active participation in a cosmic choreography where each of your steps is synchronized with galactic movements invisible to common eyes. You realize that your life isn't a series of random events, but a meticulously woven tapestry where each thread has purpose, each color has meaning, each pattern reveals deeper layers of the divine plan. In this phase, you stop forcing closed doors and learn to recognize those that open by themselves, as if the universe were constantly guiding you through a labyrinth that only makes sense when you trust. Synchronicities are no longer occasional wonders. Surprises, they're the everyday language through which the cosmos converses directly with you. A thought arises and minutes later, someone mentions exactly that. You think of a person and they contact you. You need an answer and a book falls from the shelf open to the exact page. This isn't luck. It's you finally operating at the frequency where reality responds to your intention even before you verbalize it. But the most radical transformation happens when you begin to radiate, not just for yourself, not just for your personal growth, but as a living beacon for other souls still asleep. Your presence becomes transmission. You enter an environment and the frequencies shift. People around you begin to awaken without you saying a word. Your quantum signature, that unique energetic imprint that only you carry, begins to resonate so clearly that it attracts exactly those who need the specific code you carry. You no longer need to convince, prove, or explain. You simply exist in your truth, and that alone is sufficient teaching. And finally, you become what you were always destined to be since before incarnating, a conscious weaver of timelines. You understand that each choice you make doesn't just affect your present, but sends ripples through the fabric of time, creating futures, dissolving pasts, reconfiguring probabilities. You're no longer living the life that was given to you. You're consciously creating the reality you choose to exist in, thread by thread of light and love, interweaving intention with action, thought with manifestation, vision with materialization. This is the moment. This is the calling. If these words made something vibrate within you, if something in your soul recognized the truth in this transmission, then you are one of those chosen for this collective awakening. Don't let this message die here. Share this channel with those who have ears to hear. Leave your comment of light, allowing others to know they're not alone on this journey. Subscribe and leave a like to continue receiving these cosmic transmissions that arrive directly from the higher frequencies. And if this message touched the core of your being, leave your energetic mark with a simple gesture of recognition, because together, as an awakened collective, we weave the new earth that already pulses on the vibrational horizon. Are you ready to fully remember who you are? The universe is waiting for your answer. May the light of the stars guide every step of your journey back home. Eternal gratitude, brave soul.